Well, hello there. It's Jeff Ross here, bouncing into your screen from Tasmania, Australia. And I just wanted to jump on here. I'm going to be doing a live every day between now and the 30th of the month. Why? Because I've got a message to share. I've got a voice to shout out loud and proud. And I want to be able to help you to learn how to do the same thing. So you're probably going to be hearing me talk a lot about what I'm going to call this voice framework. Voice, and it's an acronym. I'm going to let you sit with that for a second. But are you sick of posting and getting crickets? Are you wanting to use social media to start connecting? Are you looking to raise above the noise and find your voice and create content that actually starts converting? If so, you're in the right place. And if you're just tuning in, you don't know who this crazy Aussie guy is, well, my name's Jeff Ross. I'm a proud dad of 3 amazing boys. I'm the laptop lifestyle dad. I'm an online marketer since 2010, and I am the self-proclaimed king of dad jokes. For any other dad joke aficionado out there, I need some more ammunition. I think I've used it all. My mum, I reckon she's pretty bloody good at it too. She keeps sending my boys grandma jokes. Well, really, they're dad jokes. Anyway, I'm known from building websites from WordPresses to funnels to the SEO to drop shipping to Facebook ads to full stack marketing. I've done it all. I've been caught up in all the fads. I've been caught up into having to fit into the mold and fit into the crowds. I've crushed it all. I've set every stage. I've been there, but I've also burnt out tracing trends. I've found something here in the last couple of months, and it's through years, decades plus of wisdom and experience of just learning to do the work, to fail forward fast, and building my network, surrounding myself with amazing people like Michael Silvers from the Los Angeles Tribune, Dr. Joseph McClendon, Malcolm Jamal Warner. These last 6 months, I've been able to up-level my network and my circle of influence, and these guys have influenced me. See, every top 1% speaker of the world, one thing I've noticed is they've all got their signature talk, their thing. And I'm sick of chasing fads. I want to be me. I've just something powerful in this space when you can just be you. The one strategy that nobody's really teaching is just being you. And this led me to develop the framework, which I call the voice framework. Hey, drop a 1 in the comments below if you're sick of posting content and sick of being lost in the sea of sameness. I'd love to know, because that has been me. I've been that guy who has been posting and getting crickets and just keep posting consistently, just one day it'll work. I started this game 2010. And g'day, Christopher. How you going? Thanks for watching. And, I've had to fail forward. I've had to stumble over my feet to get to when I first started this space, it totally sucked. And if I could do it, a high school dropout who dropped out at year 9, who's dyslexic, who has ADHD, who the doctors pretty much wrote off and put on a disability pension because I couldn't work in the traditional workforce anymore. I've got all the limiting beliefs. Or had all the limiting stories, all the limiting beliefs. I've got all the reasons why not to be a success. And I'm sure you do too. You know what? I had to do a lot of deep work internally, spiritually, and mentally to be able to conquer this space. And if I could do this, you can too. My hope here is this framework that I'm about to teach you over today, the weeks, the coming months, the next few years ahead. This voice framework becomes the foundation, the cornerstone to helping you to crack the code for social influencing online. Today, I'm going to show you how you can clarify your message, build a brand and your story, and create content that starts real conversations. See, the problem here is with online marketing, social media marketing, attraction marketing, whatever label you want to throw at it. The problem here is most people are out there posting and ghosting. Reason being is they've got no clarity. They've got no confidence, and no conversations are happening in the DMs. See, leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less, as John Maxwell likes to call it in the 21 laws of irrefutable laws of leadership. And I tend to agree with that because I've had to learn how to grow in my influence. It's called influencer marketing for a reason, right? Because people will take action when you've got trust, when you've got integrity, when you've got influence. See, being consistent every day is part of the equation. But it's been quirky, it's been unique, it's been a leader that helps you to connect. And if you're putting content up there and getting crickets, not getting any traction, it's probably because of one or two things. You've been like everybody else. You're essentially just promotional. I get it. I've been there. I've done it. Your link spamming, your direct pitching, and your content is just all about sales and promotion. That's never going to really truly connect. That's never really going to truly influence people. It's a bit like cold calling. It works 0.0005% of the time. I'm more into the conversion game. I'm more into putting my time, energy, and efforts into things and getting 15, 20% conversions. Yeah? So if your content doesn't connect, it's not because you're not talented. It's because you haven't found your voice. If your content sounds like everyone else, you'll get scrolled past like yesterday's MySpace page. Blockbuster. You remember those? They got left in the dust. Are you sick of being left in the dust? You don't need more hacks. You don't need more frameworks. You don't need more tips. You don't need more technical training. You need to learn how to show up powerfully, purposefully, and personally. See, if you want people to connect with you, you've got to become relatable. You've got to create content that people can resonate with. The best way to be an influencer is to position yourself as a guide on the journey. See, you're not the hero of the story. Stop trying to be that hero of that story. You're the guide. You're the hero maker. Your people are the hero. Your product, your service is the bridge, is the transformational bridge to help people get from Sucksville to Awesome Town. Yeah, see, so this is where the voice framework really comes into it. It's the blueprint to help you to build a personal brand that actually feels like you and helps you to connect with your ideal audience. We're going to be doing deep dives into this over the next few coming days, weeks. I'm actually hosting a workshop on the 30th. Hold tight, so I'll talk about that later. But let me give you the framework. V for values. Values is your brand, your mission, your vision, and your core values, the things you stand for, the things you stand against. Here's a quick prompt you can put into ChatGPT to help you to discern your values if you're not sure. I believe XYZ is more important than ABC. Now share your non-negotiables, share your values, share your magnetic, quirky you. See, my top 3 core values. You ready for them? And you'll start to see my brand elements come out in everything that I do. My top core value at the top of everything, at the tippy top of it, is the core value that everything falls down on. You ready for it? It's ultimate ownership. It's integrity. It's trust. Let your yes be a yes and your no be a no. Why is that such a deep-seated core value for me? Because 10 years prior to it, I was not a person who you would call who has strong integrity. I was not a person who took ultimate ownership. See, I lived life above the line, below the line. Below the line is living life with blame, excuses, denials. See, I was living life as a victim. I didn't realize it at the time, but that's what I was doing, right? It was everybody else's fault. It was the circumstances. It was blah, 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 blah. Have you ever noticed the drama triangle? They call it the Bermuda Triangle of drama. In there, there's always a persecutor, a rescuer, and a victim. See, I lived in a cycle of drama. And I had to raise myself above the crowd. I had to learn how to take ultimate ownership, accountability, and responsibility. See, this is why this has become the deep-seated core value for everything that I do. Ultimate ownership is the deep center of everything. Behind that is love, is fun, is joy. So ultimate ownership, love, and the third value is transparency. You know, we can't live life in the shadows. We have to live life in the light. We are only as sick as our secrets. Yes, so let's bring out our purpose in our life and our story into the light. So let's be transparent. Let's be raw, real, and vulnerable. If I had to describe that one word, transparency sums all that up for me. They're my three core values. And there's a lot of things that I stand for and I stand against, but they all fall down on those three values. So what are your values? Got to get clear on that to discern and be you, to be unique, to find your voice. O stands for origin. Your story is not for you to keep. It's not for you to hoard. I truly believe if you've got a story that you've been able to get yourself out of Sucksville and Awesome Town and you're not sharing that story with the world, that's an injustice. You're robbing someone of their hope, of their solution to get them out of their struggleville. So stop keeping your story to yourself. What have you got to lose by sharing your story? Really nothing. Because your stories are not for you to keep. What is your origin story? Your story is your superpower. It is the thing that makes you unique, eclectic, and original. So go out there and share your story. We're going to be doing a lot more detail on this later on in the coming days, coming weeks, and especially in this workshop that we're going to be running on the 30th. Your story is your superpower. It's not about having perfect. Stop trying to be fake until you make it. Stop trying to be perfect before you share it with the world. The world wants to connect with you where you're at right now. Be raw, be real, be authentic, be vulnerable. It's not about having a perfect journey. It's about being, wait for it, here's the key word, relatable. Here's a prompt that you can put into ChatGPT to start to help you with your origin story. I used to be XYZ, then I, ABC, now EFG, right? So what you're doing in that story framework is the before state, the transformational state, how you crossed over from that transformation, and then the after state. See, that's the thing. We're all sharing. We're all selling. Really, at the end of the day, the solutions that we're giving people are all about one thing, transformation. So what is your transformational origin story? Tell the truth, not just the highlight reel. But don't leave it in the pain, in the struggle. Be a storyteller, be a story creator that leads people to hope, love, joy, peace. All the fruits of the Spirit, yeah, which are really just all characteristics of love. To lead people, influence people to take action out of their starkness, out of their hopelessness, out of their starvation, wherever they're at, out of their struggle, out of their before state, into that out of Sucksville, into Awesome Town. Awesome Town is all the fruits of the Spirit. It is joy, it is love, it is peace, it is hope. So bring them to that. Use your story or your story on the journey towards that, or use your story how you got out of that to that. I stands for influence. So influence isn't about followers. I want you to hear me. If you've got followers that aren't stepping up and becoming leaders, what you've actually got is yourself being a celebrity, a rock star. See, I'm all about being a hero maker. I'm all about equipping other leaders to be leaders, hero makers to be hero makers, disciples to be disciples. Influence isn't about followers. It's about how you show up, serve, and lead. Influence is about leadership. So prompt I like to use here is people often ask me how I show up consistently with value. So go and ask yourself what people naturally come to you for service. Your natural skill sets, your natural thing. That is the thing that you can start to develop your brand around. Because when you can position yourself as a person of service, as a guide, as a leader, that is where your influence will naturally grow. And then all you have to do is show up consistently with value, and your credibility will compound. This is why I do crazy things like these calls. Get up at 1 a.m. in the morning and help host the Los Angeles Tribune Leadership Week. It's because it's all about growing in service. It's all about growing in that space of where I can be supportive, and in return, my credibility compounds. Therefore, my influence grows. Yours can do the same thing. C in this framework creates clarity. See, a confused person doesn't buy. Sorry, my lights are just about to fall down on me. A confused person does not buy. And I'll fix that up later. A confused person does not buy. A clear message opens doors. Right? So here's a prompt to help you to create up the clear message. I help who go from pain to result using XYZ method. Get your one-liner sorted. It needs to pass the pub test. What is the pub test? The pub test is you could walk up to a bloke in the pub and he might have a few beers under his belt, and you could say in one sentence what you do, how you help people, who you help them, what you take them from Sucksville to Awesomestown using XYZ method, and they can just get it. We're going to do a bit more work on that too over the coming days, and especially in this workshop on the 30th. E stands for expression. This is you unleashed. Quirks, humor, accent, dad jokes, everything. If you're sincere, if you're genuine, if you're quiet, if you're meek, own that. Be that. Because when you attract your tribe, you will find your vibe. This is you. Be unleashed. See, I am known as a high, energetic, crazy, fun Aussie. The laptop lifestyle dad, the caffeinated kangaroo. Why the kangaroo, right? Because I bounce in with energy. It's ADHD on overdrive. I love the caffeinated energy about it, right? And I use things like Boom Sauce and Awesometown and Sucksville. You know, these are quirky sayings that help me to develop my brand. If my brand had a vibe, it would be XYZ. Fill in the blanks. If your brand had a vibe, it would be blank. What is that for you? That is where you start to develop your expression, right? And this is where your content comes alive. This is where your content becomes unmissable. You think of all of the quirky, crazy, iconic, whatever it is, brands. What do they have in common? They are expression of that brand. They're unique. They're eclectic. They're original. See, when I say Steve Irwin, you automatically think of the word crikey and that really strong Aussie accent. See, this is the reason why I've trademarked the word boom sauce. Because when you hear that word boom sauce, you think of Jeff Ross. When I think of the pumped up platypus at a pool party, I think of my mate Dave Miller. When I think of the Lux Lioness, I think of Jade Winsley. See where I'm going with this? See, our brand, the words that we use are not necessarily a brand. They're a brand identifier. They're how we express our personality. They're how we express our voice. And once I found my voice, everything changed. It all clicked into gear. Everything started working. And this is my hope for you, is that you start to develop your voice where you go through and you're not necessarily chasing the algorithm anymore. You're no longer blending in anymore. You're mission focused. You show up and people connect to you. They come to your content and it starts converting for you. Give me a yes, me, if you would like more of that. This is why I started to do what I do in this space, the Laptop Lifestyle Dad. And just in the last 3 weeks of me showing up consistently as the Laptop Lifestyle Dad for the last 3 years, this stuff doesn't happen overnight, right? But it does start to happen. People start to magnetize to it. They start to attract to it. This is attraction marketing 101 that not many people are really talking about and getting down into the detail of. I'm going to change that game. Right? So with last 3 weeks, here's some results for you. With me showing up, with building a connection, with me building my influence, with me being credible by servant-hearted leadership. In the last 3 weeks, I generated 337 plus people saying, yes, me, to wanting to know more about this Stream Pro offer that I've just jumped on. 337 people have reached out to me saying yes, just from my content that connects to them on a daily basis. And I want the same for you. So this is my invitation for you. If this is speaking to your soul, if you're ready to stop being a content robot and start becoming a human brand, then join me on May 30th for my live masterclass. Here, let me drop the link in for you so you can grab that in the comments. So May 30th, this is all Sydney time, by the way. We're going to be hosting a 90-minute masterclass where you can come join us. There's the link there. Just drop it in the comments for you. Hang on. Something going on there with StreamYard. Let me just find Facebook and I'll put it on the comments for you. So May 30th, we're going to come back into our workshop here on content that converts. I'm going to really unpack deeply this voice framework for you to be able to help you to use AI to help you to humanize your brand. You see what I've done there? Bit of a play on words. So, content that converts. Build a personal brand that starts conversations, because that's what we're doing it all for, right? See, marketing's not designed to sell. Oh, I know, right? What am I doing? Well, stop selling on your marketing. Start documenting more than you promote. If you can take one tip away from today's live, take that drop. Start documenting more than you promote. See, your content is designed to start conversations. See, conversions happen on the back end of conversations. We'll talk more about that in another class. But in this class here on the 30th, I'm going to break down the voice framework in detail, and I'll show you how to turn your content that actually leads to conversations. Now, there are only 50 seats available for this workshop, and I've already sold 6 of them in the last 4 hours. So they're going out like hotcakes. So if you're tired of shouting in the void, it's time to speak up with purpose, power, and personality. Make sure you click on the link there I've just put in the comments. Go get your seat there for our workshop coming up on the 30th. The world doesn't need more clones. It needs you to step up and own your voice, share your story, and shout your truth out to the world. Let's stop hiding. Let's start connecting. Join me on the 30th, and let's start turning your message into momentum. Hey, this is Jeff Ross, your caffeinated kangaroo, signing off. And I look forward to seeing you on tomorrow's live. I'll see you for there. Bye for now. Cheers, legends.